Coach Pao?
Okay, so looking at the draft board, you already covered the wings with Calvin Oftana, and then Coach Anton picked Holmqvist. So they're super loaded. We talked about this in our pod with Coach Jeff. They have a really like deep lineup where they can play 11, 12 guys. If there's one spot where they might need another guy, and especially here, 21st pick, I take a chance on RK Liagan.
Yeah.
A shooter, tough as nails. We'll see if his size is going to be detrimental in the PBA. But imagine like a practice where it's like Marcelino versus RK. Hey, that'd be fun practice also. You keep the intensity high.
When you were in Alaska, Coach Pao, they had a player, si Galigues. Is RK a good comparison for him? Would you put RK above him?
I think it's a good comparison. They're both stocky guards who can shoot the three. I think Abel might be a little bit bigger than him, which isn't really saying much, but it'll be a good battle to try and get that basically the third point guard spot behind JV and Mike DiGregorio. They also have Maverick Ahanmisi. So there's going to be a lot of positional battles in the Alaska practices. So it should be exciting.
Okay. Now let's move on to Rain or Shine, Coach Anton.
Yeah, I'm looking at kasi I was looking at how Rain or Shine picks players. Parang last year they picked Adrian Wong, they picked what do you call this?
Rodriguez.
So those guys parang they play multiple positions. They can play 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking at someone na parang ganon. And the guy na nakita ko is JD Tungkab. I think JD could be someone who will fit well with Rain or Shine. He's a big guard for his position. He can play 1, 2, 3. So at this stage of the draft, I think he's a good pick for Rain or Shine.
What I find interesting though is that he's basically the 23rd pick in this draft or 22nd, but he might even be included in the Gilas pool. So
Correct.
because he was part of that pool, but it is interesting that he has dropped this low. Okay, Rain or Shine's other pick, Coach Pao.
It's kind of tough in this stage of the draft. I'm just gonna pick a guy just based on his athleticism, and he was the first name I saw here. But it kind of stands out. Very interesting player, David Morel.
Uh-huh.
From UP, wing.
Wow.
Okay, I just think like they have a defensive unit. They got a guy who's an athlete. Maybe they can develop him. I don't know about his shooting, but maybe they can develop that.
Okay. We tried to recruit him to CSB. Obviously, that didn't work out. But, Randolph, you've been covering the college scene also for a while. What do you think of Morel or this pick?
I think meron pang he could have used 1 or 2 more years sa UP, but the thing is with David Morel, he hasn't had the luxury of getting the limelight for himself. Nung nasa UP siya, he was playing behind the star-studded unit. It was supposed to be dun sa CEU when he was playing with unproven players with the Scorpions, and yung only guys na familiar tayo doon will be a Jerry Pingoy. So it's gonna be a challenge for him to make it in the PBA, but for Rain or Shine to get him at this point na nasa late second round na tayo, I think it gives him a bit of a luxury, and of course he's gonna learn from the bevy of big guards, undersized forwards, I mean, ng Rain or Shine. Remember, they still have Vince Tolentino, they have Prince Rivero there, and yun yung mga bata na pwedeng maturuan nila Bo Belga, nila Joel Ponferrada when it comes to toughening up pagdating sa PBA.
Valid point. Okay, now for our final pick of the mock draft and the second round, of course, I'd like to discuss with you guys that we may have left out or guys you would have wanted to pick or thought would be picked. We have Hinebra's pick, and Carlo, belongs to you.
Looking at the board now, parang there are a lot of players who will fall to the third round and still be serviceable and still, get minutes in their first year in the PBA. Guys like maybe Anton Asisio or Andre Caracot. I mean, specifically itong si Asisio, I think he could have benefited if he joined the last draft, not this one, because it's just too stacked right now. But for me, if I'm Hinebra, I don't really need anything right now. I'm the defending champion. I'm heading into the Philippine Cup with a Greg Slaughter possibly as he resigned. So I could take a risk by getting Demusis. I'm not doing this for Risa Diaz, but maybe I am. Para hindi sila magalit sa akin. But you know what? He has proven that he has the explosive athletic ability, can score. So if you're Ginebra, again, you're not looking for anyone specifically. So you have the opportunity to take a risk and get someone like him.
Okay, that's a interesting pick, no? Randolph, or has anybody seen enough of Nick Demusis to make a comment apart from Carlo? Coach Anton, ikaw sa MPBL?
Yeah, actually he also practiced with us in 3-on-3, so before the MPBL. So actually I was looking at him kay Paolo for rain or shine kasi familiarity with Coach Chris and Coach Mike Buendia, he would have been also a good pick for them. Ano siya kasi I think for me he has to define what position he's going to play. Kasi he can play a 3 pero in the MPBL he played a 4. So he has to know what position he will be playing pagdating ng PBA. But athleticism, he's one of the most athletic players I've seen sa MPBL, and I think that will be something going for him.
Coach Charles, meron akong mga nakakausap when it comes to Nick Demusis outside of Riza Diaz. Na meron tayo narinig na comparisons dito na could be a Rudy Hatfield. So that's very interesting for me. We haven't seen enough for him from the MPBL, but with the energy and the athleticism na sinabi ni Carlo, and for Ginebra to get him at basically 24th overall, that's not really a bad take para sa Ginebra.
I just know he has mad hops. That's what I like. Grabe rin tumalo niyan. Okay, guys, that was a very interesting draft.